and welcome back to another video. So today I'm bringing you another curly hair video, and this one is all about the curly girl method. So I'm going to be talking about what that means and what it means for your hair, and hopefully give you enough information that you make a decision and hopefully try this out and see if it works for your hair. So if that is something that you would like to see, then please keep watching. So the curly girl method, I don't know, it's become very popular in recent years. So the curly girl method is a method where it's silicone free, sulfate free, alcohol free, no shampoo. So usually you're using a co-wash instead of a shampoo, and if you don't use any of those things, silicones, then you don't need to actually use a shampoo to cleanse your hair and your scalp. And then also finger detangling to minimize breakage and avoiding heat at pretty much all costs. So what are silicones? Silicones are polymers that include any synthetic compound of repeating units of siloxane. So what silicones are meant to do is coat the hair, and a lot of claims say that silicones make your hair more manageable and more shiny, and they lock in moisture. Now, for some people that may be true, but for some people it's not true. For some people it just, their hair doesn't do well with silicones in it. So the problem with silicones sealing the hair shaft, and especially if you use it like in a shampoo or whatnot before you even put in your moisture, is that nothing else can kind of penetrate it, or it's very hard to penetrate the hair shaft. What they also do is they build up over time, and that can leave your hair limp and less manageable, less shiny, just overall less healthy looking. So it is important, if you use silicones, to use a very good clarifying shampoo regularly to make sure that you're getting all of that buildup out of your hair. Are sulfates. So sulfates are aggressive detergents made of sulfur-containing mineral salts. So a lot of shampoo has sulfates in it, and if you use shampoos or any kind of products for your hair with silicones, you need a good detergent to get all of that gunk out of your hair, to get all of the buildup out of your hair. So the problem with sulfates is that it dries out your hair, and it also strips your hair of its natural oils. So if you do a deep conditioning before you wash your hair, or you do like an oil treatment, then you're stripping your hair of its natural oils and all of the moisture and drying it out. So it's kind of being counterproductive to everything that you're doing to try to put the moisture back into your hair. This is a problem because it can cause dry and brittle hair. So if you have a problem with your hair constantly being dry or brittle, breaking off very easily, then it could be because you're using sulfates. And you might want to try having no sulfates, but I feel like no sulfate and no silicone kind of go hand in hand. If you follow the curly girl method, then you don't need to worry about shampooing your hair with regular shampoo as much, because you're not using those silicones, like I said. So you're using gentler products that are able to wash out of your hair easily. So a co-wash, a conditioning wash, will be able to cleanse your scalp and your hair sufficiently. If you do use silicones, then you need to use a surfactant. So a surfactant, sulfate, it's a detergent for your hair. There are more natural surfactants that you can use that are gentler on the hair and that don't contain your typical sulfate. These include like cocoa betaine, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. That's in that's one of the good ingredients, as well as cocoa glucoside. Those are two good surfactants that are gentler on the hair if you do want to go for a sort of sulfate for your shampoo if you're not taking silicones out of your hair. If you do use a sulfate in your shampoos or in anything, just make sure to moisturize a lot before and after, because even though it's drying out your hair, you're using the silicones, you want to still try to get as much moisture into your hair as you can if you're not going to cut them out completely. So next thing is alcohols. The Curly Girl method says that alcohols are bad. So what are alcohols? Alcohols are emollients used to protect and soften your hair and moisturize your hair. That's the claim. However, there are different kinds of alcohols, some good, some not so good. So there's short chain alcohols, and they can have the opposite effect, and they can dry your hair, frizz your hair, and roughen up the cuticle, which makes it harder to keep moisture in and causes frizz. Now there are other ones called fatty alcohols. So they are good in moderation for curly hair, and these include lauryl cetyl and stearyl alcohols. On to the next thing that the Curly Girl method requires is to avoid heat at all costs. So high heat, such as blowouts, flat ironing, and high heat diffusing, can cause damage to the hair. It can cause damage to the pattern, to the texture. It can cause heat damage. When you're blowing out your hair, you're actually taking the curl pattern out of your hair. And so sometimes you'll find that after you flat iron it or blow it out, it has a hard time curling back up and clumping back up, and that's because you're essentially taking the curl pattern out of your hair, and your hair can forget how to curl back up into its natural state. So when you have high damage hair from heat damage, you'll see that people have straight parts in their hair, stringy parts in their hair. They just won't curl back up, and in that case you may have to get a big chop in your hair, because that's never going to go away, and it can cause more damage as you keep that in your hair. So what is finger detangling? Pretty self-explanatory. Finger detangling is when you're saturating your hair with water, you saturate it with conditioner, and then you just smooth your hair down from the root to the tip, smoothing down the cuticle and smoothing out any tangles. Using your fingers, and kind of keep working that moisture in and keep smoothing out any of the tangles. This is a very long process. However, some people benefit from it, and they find that it causes the least amount of damage or breakage to your hair, because you're not using hard bristles or anything like that to detangle your hair. So you just want to make sure when you are finger detangling that it's only on wet hair, only with a lot of conditioner, and a slippery conditioner. You want to make sure that your conditioner has slip so that your fingers glide through your hair easily, and that those tangles are coming out easily. So that being said, that is the Curly Girl method in a nutshell. The products I recommend and that I used when I first started the Curly Girl method was Diva Curl. I mean, they started the whole thing. Their products are pricey, but I find I love their one condition. Their Diva Curl Decadence, it's for super coily hair. That was recommended to me, and it's amazing. Very, very moisturizing, lots of slip, and the no poo, and then the conditioner is amazing. Shea Moisture is another great product line. They have no silicones, no sulfates, no parabens, nothing like that. Amazing. And as well, Maui Moisture. That's another one. It's a drugstore product line, and it's very good super affordable, and it's free of all those things. So these are all Curly Girl friendly products that you can use, and there's a mixture there. There's tons of products out there now. It's gaining a lot of momentum. The silicone and sulfate free movement is gaining a lot of momentum. People are seeing the difference, and they're seeing just the difference in their hair health. So I challenge all of you to try the Curly Girl method and see if your hair loves it. Until next time, bye.